Okay, thank you all very much for joining today. So the goal of us coming together, this we want to do regularly, so that we can incorporate learnings from each other and overall improve the spiritual preaching activities from Vedic Culture Center in both Bellevue and Samamesh. So for now, I am for now, this is the first session we are meeting. So we will primarily focus on gathering some information. We'll get everybody to speak about the program that they are doing, and I have a little bit of structure so we all can have a conversation around it. I'm just using Google Sheet for now. So I hope you all can see what I'm seeing here.
Yes. Yeah.
So basically, for each teacher, I know we all have the information, but just to confirm where they're preaching, what time, what chapter, what book they're doing, what is working well for them right now, you know, and then what are the overall activities you are doing? Is it class, or are there more things like maybe reading together, or some other spiritual activities? What can be improved from your perspective about your class, and any action items that you're planning or you want to be done, right? So overall, the idea is to look at where we stand right now, right? uh, like the pace of your program, everything you can speak, you can think about, you know each of you can raise your hand, so we can start collecting the data. And first session, just want to keep it to that, and then we'll decide the meeting cadence, and you know um, yeah, any other things that it's all free forum after that. And then we'll try to end by 2 o'clock, just to keep it time bound, and we can continue this at some cadence that we discuss. So around 1:50 we'll come to the final phase, and you know put together a plan for next meeting, right? So that's the agenda. um, so forum is open. You can start with anyone. um, Anyone would like to start? We'll start with their name, and you know um,
Yeah, I can go, Prabhu.
yes, Adipurusha Prabhu.
As the name suggests.
First beginning.
Das.
Okay, Prabhu,
Um,
where are you doing?
yeah, so I actually, started in person in Samamesh. So the background, not sure if everybody knows, but
Hmm.
essentially, right after
COVID.
like COVID, when the offices started to open, I prefer working from office. So, I started going to the office, and few of my team members started coming as well. And we were having lunch together, and then slowly conversation, you know, got to spirituality and all that. So they were asking some questions, I was answering, and then they said, "Hey, why don't you take a class?" So started taking a class, and they brought their wives along. And I think many of you may know Pedro. Uh, so he's from Portugal. So he actually moved to Seattle because he was not getting association there, and I pulled him into my team, and I was able to move into Seattle. And then a couple of my other colleagues who also actually serve in the food truck. So kind of that's one way I'm kind of getting them engaged in service also. And then their wives, and then another couple joined who were known to Sonia Mataji and Gaurav Prabhu. So for those that know, so they refer to them to me, and they have been attending as well. And then one couple, colleague, they moved to Houston. Vishwa and Kalpana are their names, and they wanted to, I've been encouraging them to go to the temple there and also take their kids to Sunday school. So they started taking their kids to Sunday school. So they wanted the time moved because we were meeting Sunday at 4:30. So then the whole group agreed that we'll meet at 7:30 a.m. on Sundays. So then now we are doing online because it's difficult to get everybody that early in the morning. So it became online now. And uh, and uh, so I started with the DYS, and I'm sharing a little bit of background to this so you kind of understand the context
Sure,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Go ahead.
So initially, first, I started with DYS. First three sessions, I started and I said, okay, if you have any questions, ask because they had lots of questions. So they just kept asking questions after questions after questions. So first three sessions, I just answered questions. And then they said, looks like you have answers to everything. Why don't you start the class? Because then we can learn in a structured way. So that's how I started the DYS and then finished DYS. And then they wanted to continue with Bhagavad Gita. Again, what I'm trying to do is let them decide the pace, let them decide how they want it. So I keep asking them, is this too fast? Is this too slow? How do you want it to be? So this started about like I said, right around after COVID, like 4 years we've been doing this, and of course started Bhagavad Gita. So we are currently in fourth chapter. General it is slow per how generally we do, but again they want it this way. So I'm adjusting to the way they want it. And I asked them, do you want me to go faster? I'll go faster. But they seem to like the pace. And then lately, Shashwat Prabhu, who has been serving in the food truck, he wanted to join the class. I did tell him we are in the fourth chapter, why don't you go through DYS? But he was very adamant that he wants to be in my class. So I said, okay, you join, but also, maybe attend other sessions to, pick up. But he's been attending. Um, so that is, one aspect. Again, I could cover like, we have lots of discussions. They still ask a lot of questions and the discussions and all that, and just giving them the room to progress at their own pace. That's sort of how I'm approaching it.
How many
Um,
students are there, Prabhu, right now?
what's that?
How many students are there?
Yeah, students, I have eight of them, including Shaswat Prabhu, and they've been steady from the beginning. It's the same said. Nobody has really dropped. A couple that family joined, and then Shashwat joined in between. So right now, eight students. And then the way format is, we start with one round of chanting, all of us, and then we chant the whole chapter. That is, recite the whole chapter. The couple who joined later, Atul Mahamuni Prabhu and Vaishali Mahamuni Mataji, they're very good in recitation. In fact, he has memorized it and very perfect pronunciation. So that's very useful for everybody to learn, even for me. It's nice. So they lead the recitation, and then we do it together, but they lead, so that that practice is also there. So and then start the fifth chapter, we will do the whole fifth chapter until we finish. So that's that's a format. And then lately I thought we are doing philosophy, Shruti, but I asked them, how can, why don't we see if we are able to find another maybe 1 hour slot, maybe Saturday or some other day that we can actually do, read Prabhupada Leelamrita or Bhagavatam stories. So that between philosophy and, Smriti, so they get to kind of, relate, right? Okay, this is what we're studying, and then how does it apply in real world through pastimes and stories, and also maybe it's Prabhupada Leelamrita or Acharyas, Bhakti Siddhanta Sarari Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, so on and so forth. They'll get a good understanding of the parampara, and will augment what they're learning through the philosophy also. That's something that uh, I've surfaced with them. There are a few that are interested, but overall, most of the group is really busy with work, this, that. And so I'm trying to be, sensitive to that, and see what best I can do to infuse some of this. So
Nice. So
sort of, yeah,
this is once a month, or is it like once a week?
once a week, every week.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean Leelamrita and all that, but the class is every week. But even this, I'm trying to see if I can do every week. But again,
Mm.
I'll see what the students prefer, and the group prefers, and depending on that, my plan is to adjust.
Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, I think this you can retrospect and write if you don't have anything to say. You can say now if you have, but we'll
Yeah, I think
focus on.
improved, certainly that's the improvement I was thinking, right? Essentially, how do I bring in this?
Mm.
And then also, uh, figuring out how to encourage them. I mean, I'm trying to get them involved in food truck because a lot of them, they are more connect more, with that. And they like Neeraj Prabhu, he's driving the food truck also. And then Vishwa Prabhu used to do it when he was here, and they moved to Houston. And
Mm.
then Pedro Prabhu, he's able to come, but his family is still not in Krishna consciousness, right? Only him, but they are favorable, but he needs to balance also,
Mm.
right, with his family. So he comes whenever he's able to.
Mm.
Um, and I think overall, getting them more engaged in services is where I need to figure out how to, bring them more into services at the temple, for example. They are still not coming to the temple as such.
Mhm.
But similar challenge like me because of work and home pressures and all that. I'm, trying to tell, okay, pick up one service and keep that steady. That is more important than the quantity, right? So at least I'm trying to get them there. And then of course, how do I inspire them to regularly chant? They're not there yet,
Mm.
right? So it's but I'm taking a deliberate but slow but deliberate process to help them get there.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. I think this is good in terms where we.
Hope this is helpful and aligns with what you were looking for, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so we'll hear from everyone, so we'll
Yeah,
know where we can get input. Everybody will speak their own things, and definitely we can hear and learn from each other.
yeah,
And then toward, so one is, now we are focused on individual programs as a temple where we can improve. That will be the maybe in the next session, right? uh, we'll just focus on this for now, so we get to know each other well, right?
yeah.
Anybody else want to now start? It's good data, Prabhu. Thank you.
So, Prabhu, I can start because then I'll be on the wheel and may not be
Mm.
able to talk a lot.
Okay,
Is it okay?
sure, yeah.
Uh, so, Prabhu, two, three engagements I have. One is of course, the two out of those are with His Grace Ramakunda Prabhu.
Mm.
So, one is English and one is Marathi. So, English has been like, since I came back from India, I was focused on the device classes.
Mm.
Right? And then me and Ramakunda started one English batch. And that's going well with around 10 plus people attending regularly. It happens Sunday morning, 8 o'clock on Zoom. And Ramuguru is very structured, prepares well. So it's really going well in terms of the stability of the attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second part is then we got enthusiastic about Marathi batch when Vrindavan Prabhu came over here and he has written some Sant Tukaram Maharaj books and all that.
Mm.
So we did some campaigning on the Maharashtra Mandal side. And now we have around, and we did twice actually. Twice we completed device batch. And
So,
we have around 15 plus people attending the Marathi batch
Bhagavad Gita,
regularly.
right?
And yeah, and that crowd is also stable. Yeah.
Mm.
And on the UW side, I'm assisting you with device classes over there. And I did probably a batch or two. And there also, the UW program beyond my contribution. I think the whole team is very enthusiastic and UW is also growing very nicely. I will let you elaborate more on that. But three engagements I have, Prabhu.
Mm. Perfect, Prabhu. And which chapters you are in? Bhagavad Gita Marathi?
So I'll start driving now, Ramakund.
Mm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, bro, I can add. So
Mm.
Marathi, we are on the second chapter, and as Prabhuji said, we combined both the batches, two batches into that. And English, we are on the ninth chapter. And our format is, Prabhu, we go verse by verse, we read every verse, and we read purport also in detail. And then we kind of study together. I don't call it as a class because sometimes you will see that audience also they know so much. So yeah, we study together and we go by purport and we refer S.P. Keshava Swami's acronym book as well as his Gita 3 perspective, that book, and Gurujana Prabhu's notes also. So that gives, that works very well. Uh, and and what works very well, another thing is, Prabhu, we are also trying to engage them in the services, as Adipurusha Prabhu also mentioned, that they should be feeling the part of the family, of our temple family. And that can happen only when they are engaged in the services and they feel, then start feeling as a
Are we
family.
doing like a regular services, Prabhu?
Yeah. So for Burrito services, I have engaged from English batch 2, 3 Prabhujis at least come. And this Marathi batch also, they are, of course, they started with organizing these Marathi events, but they also help in other services like Anand Mela. I think Chaitanya Sundar Prabhu and Mataji knows about Gaurav Prabhu, and there are 2, 3 Prabhus. They are engaged in poster services as well. So we are trying to engage them as much as possible. And that should increase. Then only I think they can make progress, and they should make friends other than myself and Gaurajendra Prabhu. They should make friends with all other our congregation members. So that will help, in my opinion. And yeah, so next, what can be improved is, Prabhu, yeah, more involvement in the temple, and then also some students they do ask about the Bhakti Shastri, but it is my part that we are not able to feed them or we are not able to guide them. Like maybe structured way. Okay, now after this chapter, let's take this exam, and you have to fill up these worksheets and so on. So those things, I think I need to follow up with them more on a structured way, how they can take up the Bhakti Shastri course. And I need help with some of you or maybe with the Brajakumar Prabhu also on that. Because some of them have already expressed they want to become a Bhakti Shastri or take a Bhakti Shastri course. And one of them actually, in fact, since we were not able to guide them, they went on their own and they did Sapan Prabhu. He did Bhakti Shastri on his own from some online channel. But yeah, yeah, that is something we can improve.
Okay, that's nice, Prabhu. Anything else here? Or here any other?
So, Prabhu. And we refer to Amrutananda Prabhu notes as well. Yeah. And we refer main Gita 3 and not Gita 3.1, that Gauranga Priya Prabhu Darshan Gauranga Priya Prabhu's notes as well. Yeah, I think
So
it's all.
Prabhu, this Marathi is where? It's in Bellevue, right?
Bellevue 3:30 Saturday.
So
English.
Prabhu, really what's working well is having two teachers, because we're able to back up each other well with family and unavailabilities and travels. The continuity is always there. So that's really works well. And Prabhu is structured type and I'm spontaneous type. So we complement really well.
Prabhu, all of you, I don't have to say this, but Prabhu is exceptionally well in answering questions and giving convincing answers. So that helps a lot. And that keeps them entertained also, because as many of you might agree that just reading purport and philosophy, at times it becomes very monotonous, or they might lose interest. So entertaining them is very important, and Prabhu plays very well there. Yeah.
Very nice.
So also what we do is, based on the festivals, we try to do which one?
Go ahead. You're saying something.
Marathi location is Bellevue and English location is over the Zoom. We tried doing it for our homes, like especially Prabhu's homes, but Sunday morning 8 o'clock, people find it hard to come to a physical location. But on Zoom, they're very stable attendance. So he said, okay, whatever working, keep it. Yeah. What I was adding was, when there are festive, what happens if you look at our syllabus and pace? By the time we get to Srimad Bhagavatam, by the time we get to Chaitanya Charita, it will be like lifetime. So, say for example, Nityananda Trayodashi is coming, we will talk about Nityananda. So, whichever festival comes, we take a deviation and dip into the topics and come back. That way, they understand ISKCON also, not just the bird Krishna told Arjuna, what ISKCON is doing also. So, we leverage the festivals accordingly.
So, discussion about the festival, right?
It's the topic of the festival. So, it's
gives
Gauranga, then we should do Gauranga Katha. It is
It's a
Balaram
cultural
Balarama.
introduction also, right? Culturally,
Culture and personalities from Srimad Bhagavatam. That's also important.
Yeah, that's good. Good to know this. You can do this. Okay, it's good. I think we have good data here.
Just one liner on this whole thing is, a lot of people are actually hungry for spirituality. So if we just give the basics of the program, so they're very happy.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So just a couple of things I wanted to add that came to mind, listening to Gaurang Chandra Prabhu and Ram Mukund Prabhu. So I think one of them is certainly the challenge I have is, Gaurang Chandra Prabhu nicely put, having a co-teacher, because obviously my job takes me on travels, this, that, and all. So there tends to be, lots of different breaks. The thing is, I think there is a mood in the class. It's understanding the class, their mood, where they are at, and I think the teachers also have to have that understanding that mood, because there are certain things that go well, not go well. How do we put it in a way that it is convincing, or they can actually digest it in their own way, those kind of things, right? So that's why I've been hesitant to pull somebody who does not know the class. I think it'll be certainly I would want to see if we can have that a co-teacher, but then they need to regularly attend to understand the mood and how things work. Then I can certainly, because some of the students they have a lot of baggage, and they come with, in the sense, from past, in terms of what they have done, how what they believe in and things like that. I think it'll be nice to have a co-teacher for sure. So there is continuity. But I've developed such a personal relationship to a large extent. There is trust, and a co-teacher, they can join and kind of build that trust to have that impact. It would be really nice. That's certainly a gap that I have currently.
Frankly speaking, we are short on teachers.
Correct, exactly.
But you can strike a conversation with devotees, who can help you in that.
Yeah, I did bring Amritan Prabhu. For example, I do bring Amritan Prabhu. Like every time we finish a chapter, he'll give a summary, and then of what we have covered, and then a summary of the chapter coming up. So that way they also get to hear from him too. And since I use his slides and notes, they kind of trust that it's coming from him, and they like to hear from him too.
Nice.
Okay, that's I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, who would like to go next? Chaitanya Sundar Prabhu, want to go?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you. Right now, I'm doing one kind of the Bhagavad Gita course that has been going on. It's only 6 students actually that attend. It's been 4th year. It's going on. That's my dry run or like practice runs group that has started. But the good thing is some of them actually even went through initiation phase. So that's like Srinika Mataji, Naresh Penda Prabhu, India Priya Prabhu, and so on. So that gave me the confidence. And then finally, I asked Braj Kripa Prabhu that I'd like to take a device. And then so we just started with this new students just for the Vedic school. So I feel like it's going well. So few things that I have done that's probably I'm trying to in the end the goal is that we actually see a transformation in their consciousness. So I'm not going by the number of sessions, but I'm just going just like I think very similar to what the Purush Prabhu mentioned, like just spend as much time to build that relationship, answer their questions, go as slow as needed until they feel connected and so on. So another thing that I have done in WhatsApp is to every session, at the end of every session, ask for a quick feedback. On a scale of 1 to 5. I know it may not give the complete picture, but at least it gives a quick, feedback. And I think that seems to be, that gives me the opportunity in the next session to ask, like, if somebody didn't find the value, is it like the questions didn't get answered? Is it like the content didn't resonate with them? That also helps to fine tune continuously. And then most recently I asked a feedback question about like, okay, not about like how the class went, but what has been the transformation in your life since you have, joined this program? If it is okay, I just wanted to kind of, am I able to share my screen? Oh, yeah, no, not yet. Okay, I mean, if it is possible, I'll send a screenshot. Otherwise, it's a WhatsApp thing. But I felt like, and the reason I'm sharing that is I think it would be good for others to see. Again, there are multiple ways to gather the feedback, but this seems to be. If it is okay, I think I could now share. I'm just going to pull up. I'm on the phone only, so I'm going to pull up VCC Samamit.
I saw your feedback.
Yeah. So, so this is a question that I asked. So, changes in your life since attending Gita classes. I mean, we're not in the Gita technically, but introduction to Gita device is Gita only, based on how we're covering it. So you can see, some of the people, some people have already changed their diet, maintaining a regular schedule, begin chanting, started preparing food and offering to the Lord, begin reading scriptures, enjoy. Obviously, that seems to be the highest. Enjoy coming to the temple more often, like doing some services. They're still early in their transformation, and then experiencing more peace and clarity. And luckily, no major changes is zero. So. And then there is another person that just kind of commented recently that one other change is that he started less comparison and so on. So again, we're making some positive impacts. I just wanted to kind of share, like having maybe some kind of feedback mechanism. The few other encouraging things in the classroom is there is one family that is so fully connected now. They even donated $10,000 to the temple and the matching. And then they even are on a Vrindavan Yatra right now. So it's all, thanks to Krishna. So again, somehow that inspiration is helping me to spend more time and do the right thing for them. So that's one. And then recently, my 35-year-old childhood friends from 10th grade, some first grade to 10th grade, they all got together, finally connected with me. So I told them I'll only connect with them if they're willing to hear Bhagavad Gita. That is just my ploy too. But then they all agreed. So starting next week, I'm going to start another batch with them every Saturday morning. It's going to be a Zoom session. Again, introducing Bhagavad Gita. So just wanted to share a few things there.
Amazing, bro. I think you reminded me of something that's really working well. We learned it from Harivansha Prabhu. At the end of every class, we do reflection. Reflection is what did you understand from today's class? And when everybody else recaps what they learned, it's a very powerful locking the learnings type of session for everybody else. We also get to know which students are learning better than others and who need help. So that has been a trick that has really worked well. Thanks to Harivansha Prabhu.
Yeah, and one other thing I forgot to mention, because the class is a little big, typically we get about 25 to 30, even more people coming in. So I requested Srini Kamataji and Niti Hari Priya Prabhu. They both were students in the other batch. So they joined me. So we actually kind of divide and conquer. That was one of the goals of this feedback, is to figure out, okay, we can't touch all 30 people every time. How do we identify those, like maybe 5, 10 people? I think now we have a sense of who those maybe 12 to 15 people are. And we keep dialogue with them regularly at the end of the session also. Very valuable. I think that's in the end, building the relationships is how they feel comfortable.
Nice. Yeah. So how many you said?
One last thing that I probably will say, and then I'll stop, is that when Madhav Chandra Prabhu was here last time, I also engaged him in a couple of sessions. I shared that he was my teacher, almost 12, 14 years ago. So they all got excited. And obviously, he did a phenomenal job with his 2 sessions. After that, he had to again leave. So that also encouraged them. So.
Good, Prabhu. Anything, so spiritual programs, you are doing a session, and any other activities you do together, spiritual services?
So they are, because one good thing is because it's also in the holiday session. So many of them attended, throughout the holidays and back to New Year program. I'm not fully. I'm planning to start engaging them, and obviously there is an incentive for us, which is to engage them in these festivals. We have this all the hands-on activities. So my goal is to engage them, but also engage them at the temple activities. So there, many of them are coming for kirtans. Maharaj Vyasa Puja also. Some of them came already. So gradually, like they're starting to build that connection. And then some of them, at least 2 of them or 3 of them, also attend Maharaj classes early in the morning and in the night. So they're kind of parallelly progressing.
Okay. Good. We'll start next. I would like to go next. Damodar Prasad Prabhu. Are you there?
Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare
it's
Krishna.
good to see various things which are happening from various teachers. So I'll keep it short. Mine is what we are doing. Yeah, one class in Maple Valley, Prabhu, that we started almost 2 months, 6 months back. Bhagavad Gita there. Around 12 adults and 12 kids attend. Means kids will do their stuff. Actually, adults will attend. Kids, somebody is taking care of them in a side, like a Bala Gokulam kind of thing. And then I have January, I think onwards, we started a batch in
Which
Bellevue.
chapter is this? This one?
We are just started this in the middle of second chapter now. That one, Maple Valley. And Bellevue, I had 2 batches going on 11 o'clock and 6 o'clock. But Harivalabha used to take the 11, but because of the Maple Valley clash, I combined them into 6 p.m. batch because they're almost close by, same chapter. So Bellevue 6 p.m. now. That is that's 4th chapter right now. Just started the 4th chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, and then feedback. Yeah, same, mostly the same thing. I look at Amardana Prabhu's and Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's slides, but I don't use them in the class as a reference. I familiarize myself, and then of course whatever I thought works that time, I'm going to more like a read the verse translation, word to word translation, and then purport, key points. That's how I go through. And every class ends with sharing what they heard, what they understood, and also 1 or 2 Sanskrit words which stuck in their brain and what it means. So while they're going to verse to verse recitation, they will mark some. So that way I tell them they'll build a vocabulary of Sanskrit and they know the meaning of it. So that's something which we do. And then I insist on, recommend everybody to do some service, either temple or at the local level. Because that's the point that ultimately we have to get connected to service. That's what I invite them to do it. In the past batch also, most of them got engaged like that, and several of them got initiated. So that's a connection I will make it. All this theory is one part, but doing service is one part. I stress on that. Where I need help is I was before we started this courses planning. I think I was requesting we need to have 2 teachers ideally, but I'm not able to find a secondary because Maple Valley is not something nearby I can convince and get somebody. But in Bellevue, at least I got like Harivalabha, but he's on vacation now in India. So I'm doing both. But I'm definitely looking for a second teacher. Ideally, somebody from, I suggested earlier also, we should have a secondary teacher, somebody from other Guru Maharaj. So that looks more like we can share thing.
Okay.
That's my suggestion. Yeah. Yeah, one thing I want to talk about Maple Valley, because something unique is 2 of them who attended the Bhagavad Gita earlier, they moved to Maple Valley. They were in Bellevue batch earlier, but they are now so committed. I'm actually amazed. Their family actually takes care of they're almost running like a mini center, and they are actually inviting people, and they were even planning to do a Nagar Sankirtan there and run some festivals there in Maple Valley. So they're a very enthusiastic bunch, and they practice a lot. They read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to the kids before they go to bed, and very wonderful devotees. Without them, I don't think this would have been possible.
Now this is more like our Bothal.
Yeah, it's a turning because Maple Valley has a great potential. You see the neighborhoods, whole neighborhoods are Indians, and of course, majority of them are also, I say, Telugu. So they're able to connect. The whole connection we started is because they participated in a Ganesh festival, and that's when I remember Chaitanya Sundar Prabhu. If you remember, we sent a couple of us to go there, and even Rajagrupa, I don't know, you must have gone there.
Chandu Prabhu went there.
I went there.
Yeah. Yeah, you went there, right? Yeah. So they're able to connect like that, and so it's a wonderful thing to. We can expand there. As maybe in a couple of months later, we can open multiple batches, and some of us can actually go and preach there.
How far is it, Prabhu? Maple Valley from here?
The place actually takes 45 minutes. There are 2 places, 2 people. They go chapter by chapter. One chapter in one person's home, another person, another chapter. So they're 45 minutes to 60 minutes apart, 1 hour apart, in the same locality.
45 minutes from there is far.
Yeah, I take Prashadam, by the way. I take Prashadam from temple in all the classes. That's another thing.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Rajaram Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Brajkar Prabhu.
Very good, Prabhuji. You want to go?
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you for calling me because I had a hot stop at 2. So, Prabhu, I have 2 kind of Bhagavad Gita batches. One is something which has been running for quite a while. I think we are in the 15th chapter, almost end of it, and it's primarily all Indian audience, primarily Grahasthas. This started before the COVID. It used to happen all in person, but since this batch survived the COVID, so the attendees kind of got used to attending remote or virtually. and
Is it
that's
online or is it
is
on?
online right now. It's online.
Before
And
it has
also
started around COVID or before or all?
2018.
Yeah,
18.
okay.
And also again, the pace is based on how much like the student wants to drive it, right? Like if there are more questions, sometimes just one verse in 1.5 hours, or it can be like 3 verses, 4 verses, depending on how much Q&A or what is the important verse part of it. So
This is a Sunday evening 4 p.m., right?
Sunday 4 to 5:30. And also why it has been virtually is because by the way, many residents, Samamish residents, they moved out. Like you remember Dr. Mahesh and Mahesh and Dr. Darshana, they are also used to be part of this, but there are 2 or 3 families moved out from here actually after the COVID to Texas. So so some of them attend remote, and some of the families live far off. Some of the family members who attend are not favorable. Like I mean to say, other family members are not favorable. So that's why I'm just continuing this in the as a online. And this has been, and this is as you know that, right, in any start a Bhagavad Gita, you start with 20 people, but when by the time you finish karma or come to the bhakti, you are remain with like 1/3 or whatever, half of it, right? So this is the stable attendance that I have been having, around 6-7 devotees who join for this, including our Shaligram Prabhu and Tulsi Manjari Mataji. So this is one batch. I wish this could have been in person, but again, I couldn't. I tried once, but just only 1 or 2 people came. So I said, okay, let's continue online, because as I said, they survived the whole COVID as virtually, so they are continuing that. Another one is with the Westerners, which happens on Tuesday, 6 to 7. We didn't start as a Bhagavad Gita batch, but we started like, first it started like we take a topic, what is karma, or like what are the like device thing, but more in a presentation thing, but more like a discussion, right? Like everybody presents a point, and then in the end we synthesize the topic, right? So that's how it started. This started also in COVID.
Is it online too? Or no?
Yeah, this is also online too, because there are many who attend from Tacoma and other places, including Don Prabhu also joined. Earlier, Don Prabhu used to attend the Sunday one, but now he also moved to this one because it's more Western. 100% Western in this. On Tuesdays, again, 6 or 7 devotees join. So we are right now in the 3rd chapter. And again, as you know, the depth in the philosophical discussion is not that much, but it is more about practical application and things like that. So also during we meet once in a quarter, where we meet primarily for prasadam, kirtan and discussion. And also summer, this is how it started, like mantra before before mantra house, we used to meet in summer or in the park or things like that, or later on in the houses during the winter weathers or cold weathers. But nowadays we're not doing it because mantra house is there ongoing, right? So this is how I think this batch is almost, again, it's started maybe 2021 or something like that. So it's almost 3 to 4 years this is going on. In terms of, I'm going to say, again, I primarily use Amritanand Prabhu's presentation, but during the discussion, obviously Prabhupada's purport, I never skip Prabhupada's purport, right? Read everything and what is a practical takeaway. Then plus also I bring the angle from Acharyas, right? Sharata Darshani, Govinda Bhashya and other things, right? So Gita Bhushan, sorry. So I also refer plus Subodhini. Because each of the class we start with what was the connection to the previous class, how we are ending to this verse, connection to the previous works, how it leading to the next verse. So that kind of angle I get it from the Acharya's commentaries.
So do they? I see them sometimes come to Westerners. At least I have seen them. come to temple sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the one of them is the Bri Mataji, right? So she is very forefront of it. Miguel Prabhu, he will comes. He had a baby, so for the past 1 or 2 years, he's kind of on and off, even to the temple services. And then Justin, he's in Tacoma, so he comes whenever the food truck goes there. And there is Jessica, and there is uh, who is and there is Mike. So there are few, they are basically primarily they are just joining for the association, and they are right now not so much. Isabella Mataji is another one. I'm going to say some of them, again, the thing is that they don't feel I'm going to say when come to the temple they feel little out of place. So that's why you see whenever they come together, they are in either group or I will join them or whatever, right? So that is something that we need to work on, like how we can make them more participate in the temple events. So but yeah, constantly encourage them for all the services. They participate in Mantra House. Even if you see Anand Mela, many times they another festival they will be there in the Mantra House booth, right, along with Ayan. I mean to say, taking up a regular service, only Bri Mataji has taken where she does the Saturday Sankirtan. No, Saturday Bhoga Arti. She comes at 12 o'clock, she sings at Bhoga Arti. And also the other batches, Shaligram Prabhu, Tulsi Manjari Mataji, they are always in the forefront of the service. And then there are a few others. They are not so consistent, but at least I ask them to at least come and join the festival, right? Whenever there is a need for the volunteers, so they come and help in the festivals. But because of their family situations or staying far from the temple, so they don't do regular service.
Okay. Any other things in your mind other than this one you said? Anything else to improve?
Maybe we should talk about how we can like maybe some content for the Western audiences, right? Because it may not start directly with the philosophy, so we need to see how we can make it more or maybe like off the shelf kind of a presentation materials for the Western devotees.
Yeah. So that Maharaj is there, no? Keshav Maharaj.
SB Keshav Swami.
Yeah.
Have you looked at his material?
Yeah. So whatever, like the acronym and all those things, we do talk about Keshav Maharaj, whatever is the palatable for them, right? Like which is not depth in the scriptures or philosophy, but yeah, absolutely. Or take away from practical day-to-day applications. Yeah. But again, I checked with Maharaj. I asked him whether he has any full presentation on a DYS or right now he's not, but yeah, his books are very great starters, right? We can use.
Yeah. You can read together.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, I think this is good.
So this part is commendable, right? It's not preaching only to people who come to VCC. It is the mainstream Americans. That's amazing, actually.
Yeah. This is the only program as far as I know, which is going regularly. Western outreach program.
Yeah. We can do more. Now I think Damodar Prabhu is giving more and they are giving more structure to it, right? So part of that. So yeah. So at some point of time, it may so happen that like both will merge or something will happen. There will be an alignment or synergy for sure. Right now, it is more like kirtan, yoga, and kind of a thing, and more with the younger audiences. But we need to see how we can see like Western grahasthas, right? How we can kind of also penetrate.
So yeah, Mantra House definitely is a good incubation center, and we are seeing some of the so the students that come there, if they are Indian bodied and they can easily get some Mantra House sends to our program in the university. Definitely other if the older generation comes, definitely they can send to these classes at your class.
Yeah.
Okay. Krishna Murli Prabhu. Are you there?
Haribo Prabhu.
Are you
Can
able
you
to
hear me?
speak now? Or you are at Maharaj service, right?
Yeah,
Can
he's
you hear
sitting
me,
here
Prabhu?
only. Yeah, Maharaj is resting, I think, right?
Yeah, Maharaj is rested, yeah. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Let us pranam to all devotees. So, Prabhuji's, I'm mainly managing two sets of batches. One is the Samamish online on Sunday evening, 4:15 to 5:45 p.m. So this we started with Bhagavad Gita. We completed all 18 chapters, and then we moved to Nectar of Instruction. We completed that also. Um, we had fairly good participation. Bhagavad Gita uh, had about 12 to 14 attendance average till the end of 18 chapter. And then after Bhagavad Gita, the attendance dropped. So Nectar of Instruction, I had about 6 to 8
Voice
who
broke.
stayed through all the verses. Um, and then after that, I asked, what would they like to proceed with. We had a few choices, Ishopanishad, then Enodi, and so on. But overwhelmingly, they all chose to study Bhagavatam because throughout the study of Bhagavad Gita and NOI, I referenced many Bhagavatam characters like Gaurang Chandra Prabhu mentioned earlier. So I constantly gave examples from Bhagavatam, and they all said it was very inspiring. So they wanted to study Bhagavatam. Um, so we just started studying. Again, I would use the word specific study because we are studying together. So we just completed introduction, and then we started the first verse last week actually. So basically using Amritananda Prabhu's notes, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's Subodhini, and then of course Prabhupada purports. So for Bhagavad Gita and NOI, we did verse by verse, word by word purport, full purport. For Bhagavatam, we're just thinking we'll just read the verse and translation and then highlights of purport with the notes from Abhidan Prabhu and the Gauranga Prabhu. Um, uh, so in terms of challenges, Prabhu, uh, the main challenge I dealt with was the
Can you
relocation
cover
of many
services
families.
first, Prabhu?
Prabhu,
Can you cover the, what's working well
I'm
first?
not able to hear you.
Can you cover what's working well first?
Working well is probably consistency. So we have about 8 to 10 devotees who are consistently attending. Um, they are liking, basically the Prabhupada purports. They are able to ask because we go through detailed purport line by line. They are able to appreciate and we get good participation based on Prabhupada purports. So we get very engaging discussions. We are going a little slow, but we have good discussions. So that's one good thing is participation. A lot of them are doing many services like food truck and temple services like serving prasadam and serving in festivals, like maintaining festival websites and so on. And there are some of them are also helping with the preaching, like Aman Prabhu and Sneha Mataji. They help with the preaching also by joining on festival days. So most of them are engaged in good number of services. Who are here in Samamish are all helping with good number of services. The challenge, Prabhu, is distribution, so relocation. So 3 families moved to Texas, um, and 3 families moved to India, and then 1 family moved to Bothell, and 1 family they just had their first baby recently. So because of this, there has been some churn. Out of the families they moved to Texas,
two are still attending from Texas, mainly the Prabhujis. One Mataji, they're not attending anymore after they moved to Texas. And then India, after they moved, they're not attending from India because of time. So that's been one of the main challenges is the churn with the movement. Until they were all here, they were all very well participating. In fact, we had regular attendance of 15 plus until they were here. The other challenge I have, Prabhu, is some of them are chanting a good number of rounds, like 16 rounds, 18 rounds, like that. But some of them are, even though I keep talking about the importance of chanting, I'm not able to inspire them to, some of them to chant consistently. So that's one challenge I have. Even though they participate, they attend, they attend every week. But then when I ask about chanting, they're like, no, we, chant one round or not consistently. So that's one area I'm struggling.
Okay. We can discuss, maybe,
Yeah.
we can improve some of these at least. Any other?
That's it, Prabhu. Anything else I can share?
Yeah.
Then the second batch is I'm helping with the UW for basically assisting as a substitute teacher for Bajri Prabhu. And then DYS substitute teacher for Arjun Saka Prabhu or Gaurav Chara Prabhu. So that's the second, just a Saturday service I have.
Yeah. Anyone else I missed? Yeah. Okay. I think we covered everyone. I'll add my. Yeah. So we are doing two classes. One is in Samamish, Bhagavatam study. This is online, and time is we move to Friday evening, 7 to 8. So this is mostly our devotees. There are about regularly about 10 students. It varies 10 to.
Which canto are you?
So we are in the final chapter of second canto. Canto 2, and chapter 19. So this is where we are. Yeah. So these are our regular students. This is going on for almost 4 years now. 3 years. Yeah. And before that, these students have completed the 4 books with me, and right now I'm also parallelly working on Bhakti Shastri for them. So I also help with Bhakti Shastri for those who completed the 4 books. And about right now, about 7 are almost getting qualified. They're doing their presentations, and final presentation coming up next week, and they're done with their essays and everything. Exams are also over. So this is my other thing which I help right now on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Yeah, so this one is going on, and the main where most of my energy goes is in the UW Seattle, where mostly youth, either students or working professionals, mostly unmarried or newly married, and we have about 35 students for regular students, and this is a bigger program run by multiple of us. I have Gaurav Chandra Prabhu, and Arjun Sakha Prabhu and Krishnamurli Prabhu also, for DY. So we have two conference rooms which each can take about 50 students. We have a reserved rooms on a Saturday 1 to 3 p.m. And regularly we have a cooking team of about around 10 devotees who cook together, and then we have a team, Chandu Prabhu and Kaustu Prabhu, and also Achyuta Prabhu help in uh, various activities like connecting with them, and it's like um, very mature program, I would say. We have regular classes. Right now we are using His Grace Radhesham Prabhu's material called Game, and we previously also used his device material. And also I'm now using Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's Bhagavad Gita summary sessions because many of them wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita concepts as well. So I'm using his material now. And many of these students attend morning chanting together with some of us, myself, and about at least 10 students are chanting every single day, and many of them come to temple as well, if there are visitors. And we also have a reading program every day during the weekday. So study Bhagavad Gita together, led by Chandu Prabhu and Kaustu Prabhu together. So students join. Not many students right now, but there is consistent program. And also we have a program at their place on Wednesday evenings where we go and take prasadam and do a home program, so they see actually what happens. We do arati and then reading together in person, and Q&A, and now they're also doing kirtan. Some of them are and Kashu Prabhu is joining from there, so that's helping to do a kirtan. Shashwat Prabhu is there, so they do a kirtan as well. So in this way, like throughout the week, they have engagement, in chanting, reading together, and many of them are helping in food truck, and they also help in the farm, and they come to temple. Some of them help in the whenever they come. It's not like regular service, but because the biggest challenge is commute for them. So otherwise they also help in temple, and they come on festivals. So in this way, they're vibrant community. They're all very enthusiastic, very regular, and is a pretty good program. Chandu Prabhu, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so some of the students even come for Mangalarti regularly. They come to Mangalarti as well, especially on the weekends. They come for Mangalarti. They even go to Nagar Sankirtan also. Some of the students.
Yeah.
So they participate. They do Go Seva. They do services during festival. They did, some of them did festival during Anand Mela and Janmashtami also last year. So some of them are even doing 16 rounds chanting as well. They're joining the morning japa call.
Yeah.
So
So
good progress happening with them. They are kept engaged almost throughout the week, doing one activity, the other activity.
they also participate in Sankirtan, about at least 3 of them. Now they're singing Sankirtan. They're leading Sankirtan. Rahul Prabhu and Shruti, Raghavi, they're also helping in Sankirtan. So overall, and this program started exactly 1 year back. So January 26th is when last year Radhesham Prabhu came, and that was the where first time we had about 50 students, and and until then we had done like October, November last year, the year before, we initiated something, but it was like 3-4 students. It's not consistent. We used to do in the food truck area, but somehow I felt it is more to do with the blessings and prayers, and then effort of devotees coming together, and it's not easy to take prasadam and go there all the way, and reserve rooms, be with them, and yeah, so there is a lot of effort put into this, which resulted in where we are today. But but it is very satisfying in terms of the way it was going so far, right? And we had a lot of visitors. Many of them have visited there, or Harilash Maharaj visited, and Radhesham Prabhu. Um, yeah, I think
Gaurang Darshan Prabhu,
Gaurang
Chetan
Darshan
Charan
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
Chetan Charan Prabhu. And whenever
Alhamdulillah.
these programs happen, we have about, sometimes 70, sometimes 80 students as well. Yeah. And uh, even the mantra house is also, being helped by some of our students. So 4 5 of them, they go and volunteer, set up the things, you know. And if there are some Indian students who are serious, they'll be invited to our, in fact, next device we are starting next week with Gaurang Chandra Prabhu. And for that, we already have about, 20, 15 students now, or how many registered?
Between 16 to 18 Prabhu.
16 to 18, and half of them have come from the students themselves. We didn't do, any other, because we used to have food truck where we used to go and talk to them. Now it's not that easy to, do that. So students
Yeah, I think the
themselves.
location change helpful. We used to do in the food truck, but changing to the UW itself, wherever you've been,
Yeah, the
I
room
think,
is excellent. That is the
yeah.
best part. Like you have a, proper seating place. It's like a proper classroom, and students had that vibe. They could connect to, classroom atmosphere. They feel like, they're learning every week. And the material we use, Radhesham Prabhu's also has a lot of practical details there. So that's why we found that, these students, they have picked up very fast in everything, like, whether it is chanting or reading, and, attending programs or services. Everything happened in 1 year, can imagine. Most of them have no idea of anything about chanting or anything, they started from scratch. There are few who had some idea, back in India. They came from Pune or other places. Very few, like handful, like 3 or 4, but most of them have started. Yeah, so this is, December is a weak month. December, November, when, people go out for holidays or India. Or we had only like, 10, 15 students. Now again, last week we had 30 students. I'm sure it will go up from here on. Yeah.
I think you
So,
mentioned
Prabhu,
once we have a good number of students, we can get Radhesham Prabhu regularly here.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Mhm.
So he want next initiatives for us is, take it to the next level where we have a house for them where they can do these programs in a much better way. Where they can attend Mangalarti morning, they can do Mangalarti together, and, you know read every day
The Krishna
together.
house kind of thing, the Krishna house
Krishna's,
concept.
yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And we are supported, very well by temple, in terms of, and Sreshta helped us, with the reservation of the rooms. And initially when we proposed, Damodar Prasad Prabhu and, and Maharaj and Karga Prabhu were very supportive last February when we started. And yeah, so far, and we send a quarterly report to GDO of ISKCON.
He should share that here also in this group.
Yeah, I'll share that. So quarterly report on what has improved from, previous quarter. So that is, Radhesham Prabhu is overall in charge for youth preaching in the West as well. So he started coming about, after COVID, seriously, like 2022 and 23. And now we have about around 10 places where similar programs are happening, very much like this, no less. Meaning each place has about, 20 to 30 students who are committed and who are, so he is basically entering the youth, mostly right now focused on Indian youth. But there are some even Western youth in the Boston, 3, 4 Western youth who left Meta and places like that to join ashram already. So there is some, Western outreach as well. Radhesham Prabhu. So he's coming in May again. So what they do when there is some maturity in the students, they'll do more, focus more on like retreat kind of a thing where they come together and ask questions and learn more practical aspects. So next time we are planning to do a retreat when Prabhu comes here. It's nothing mature yet, but and then we are thinking of doing dramas with them in the temple because they're all enthused about these activities. So
Prabhuji, this is a fantastic, success story. I think, one, thanks for sharing it. I've also observed. I know the first few months you struggled to establish the footing, but then you guys didn't give up, and then you put, above and beyond, and everybody came together. I think, I know you shared, but just for others to probably incorporate into their programs, like what are, like, let's say 3 to 5 key things that you think are kind of the real transformatory things that were done. It may not be that easy, but if you can highlight those, I think that would be something that we can replicate. We should try to replicate.
Yeah, definitely. One thing is staying in touch, connection, which outstandingly was done by Chandu Prabhu and Kaustu Prabhu. They were the backbone. In fact, I feel it's their work that keeping the students together and helping them coming from where they are trying to understand the situation and helping them, right? And second thing is we all eat together after the class, and it's they found friendship among themselves. A lot of them found good friendship, and I think that created a lot of bonds. They became good friends outside as well. They go together to themselves. We don't even know. Like they go and together serve in. Like last week, they went together to do go seva. You know, and they are coming together to do kirtans themselves. Keshav Prabhu goes and Shashwat Prabhu is there, and they do kirtan there. And yeah, so they found good bond among them. So a lot of them, and I think that is helping, bringing them together, and uh, creating an atmosphere where they bond with each other. Yeah, so I think that is really helping. And besides that, we are following a standard material that already worked in the other places. Radhesham Prabhu's material. I can give you website radheshamdas.com, and I think that material is really helpful. And teaching in a way that they can relate to is, I felt, using Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu's Bhagavad Gita material, the summary material. I'll share with everyone. Especially, it was created for Western audience. I felt it, it really connected them. In last few weeks, they are like really connected. Yeah. So I think some of these helped. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel it is a blessing because I'm the same person who struggled very hard before, all of this, but it changed. Mostly, I feel it was, prayers of Radhesham Prabhu. Definitely, it really helped. And then all of us come together. We all come together and discuss regularly whenever there is an important thing. Um, and all of us bring ideas. Gaurang Chandra Prabhu, Krishnamurli Prabhu, Chandra Prabhu, Achyuta Prabhu, Kaustu Prabhu. We are the core team, and excellent prasadam. That's another thing. So devotees cook themselves, because temple may not be able to have good prasadam every week. So we ourselves have. We don't take rice dal mostly. We take special rice, and chapatis every week, one sweet at least, 5, 6 items, and they look forward to it. A lot of them said, "Oh, this is like we are feeling at home after leaving India like 1 year back. We didn't have this kind of food in a long time." So a lot of them feel that, and sometimes we invite to our program, our homes as well. Chandu Prabhu did a home program end of the year just to bring them together, do a kirtan, and so it's activity after activity. Sometimes we celebrated their birthdays, bring them all together and celebrate a birthday. Simple. Yeah, no agenda, but so we are also putting a lot of energy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of commitment required as well, to bring to where we are right now. So teamwork, connection, prasadam, and blessings, prayers. I think these are all coming together, and then standard material, I would say. Yeah.
And most of these students, Prabhu, are away from their homes, their families. So
Yeah.
we give them that family kind of feeling. So total love, care, and attention, not just, we are delivering the content as a student and they're gone, but, we do a lot of love, care, and attention. And again, that is the instruction we got from Adesham Prabhu, Kanatagar Prabhu also, that, talk to them, give them the love, care, and attention. If they have any trouble, like some of our students are now in between jobs, so internally, we're trying to see how we can help each other, right? And how we can find a job for them. We do all that kind of help also. So they feel very much connected to the program, to the entire community, to temple and everything. So they feel internally they feel motivated to do, to attend class and do service and everything.
So when I know one point, I just wanted to have a follow up question on, like, because Brajaguru Prabhu said you and other Prabhuji is doing the contact. So can you tell, like, what you do? Like, is it before the class, during the class, after the class?
So
Throughout.
after the class, we all have prasadam together. So I myself, Kostu Prabhu is also on the call. We go around, we talk to all the students to see how they're doing. If they didn't come previous class, I don't ask why you didn't come. I ask how are you feeling? Is everything good? Going with the job? Is personal life good? Anything problem? And if I sense there is anything problem, I'll ask them to take care of that first before coming to class. So I talk to them like, like a friend, like a big brother or something. So they feel connected because of that. And that is one part. And in between also, if somebody is not coming to class for 2 3 weeks or so, I'll just send them a message, text message, ask him how they're doing. If everything is fine, family is doing good. So we make them feel they're part of us, like part of a family. Talk to them, give them all the total love, care, and attention. And if right, we always encourage people saying that, we don't want to take prasadam back, so pack as much as you can. So students even bring boxes and everything to take, so they feel as if, we cook for them, and we work for them, we take, we give them all the attention they need. So because they are all away from their family, they like that kind of, treatment.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost going back to the basics of what Prabhupada, did, right? People connected with Prabhupada first before they connected with his philosophy and understood Krishna and everything.
Personal touch.
Yeah, so I think that is the basic here, is that, association, giving the association, making them feel really comfortable, and then obviously part of that is prasadam. I think if they connect with that, and then the philosophy is obviously strong, but it has to be given in the right way. But I think if we put the philosophy first, I think then we miss the big picture.
Yes, that's correct. So one other thing I want to add, Radhesham Prabhu assigned Kanai Thakur Prabhu to help us, especially because he may not have all the time, anytime we want. And Prabhuji has participated in, discussions, because they do these kind of youth programs all the time. And his inputs, about the quality of prasadam or, classes, and, prioritization, connection with students. Actually, that really helped practically. Lot of inputs, good inputs, practical inputs for us.
Excellent.
Wonderful
One
program,
last
Prabhu.
thing.
Before we go, there are a couple of other teachers, right, who are missing. They didn't. Should we continue this session later?
Yeah, we'll continue. I think it's
Because I see Shyamukhan Prabhu is missing, Shivalabha Prabhu is missing,
yeah,
and who else?
Damodar Hari.
Damodar Hari and Srinivas Sharan Prabhu.
Srinivas Sharan.
Yeah.
So
I don't know whether Devanath Hari Prabhu teaching is.
I think Damodar Hari, at least.
No, I don't
Okay,
think so.
no. Yeah. So
one request again. I know we're all focused on converting all of these people into full-time devotees. As people managing the the interactive booths, we have a lot of volunteer needs for all these upcoming festivals. About
That's a
50
sinkhole. You give you give 10 people, they'll add 20 exhibits.
Exactly. This is supposed to be like every year you guys have to empower us to do from 20 exhibits to 30 exhibits to 40 exhibits.
Find a space, bro. Find a space to keep all of them in one temple
No,
place.
but
Wherever you see
seriously, I
the
think we should all have a goal. I think each batch should have a goal of bringing at least 2 to 4 people that help with these festivals.
I
Sure,
think
bro.
we not talked about that should be a
Yeah,
separate
so
session.
let's do that. I think next session we can look at those aspects as well. I
Yeah.
think, and also others who could not speak yet, maybe they'll join. Okay, Prabhus. Thank you. I think
Yeah.
this is a good
Hare
sharing
Krishna.
session. Yeah.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Finally,
Krishna,
Ram Mukund
Srila
Prabhu, I can
Prabhupada
see
ki
you.
jai.
Hare
Bye.
Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
I'll
Krishna.
share the recording. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Sure.
Yeah.